All right, here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Reyes Reflection Podcast. They say that sharing is caring, so why not share my pod? Why not follow me on those socials? That's the only way we're going to continue to grow organically. Share me, like, comment, subscribe. Some love to the partners. Jocko Fuel, clean fuel without compromise. Mad Rabbit, Tattoo Aftercare. Be bold, be you. Make sure you use that promo code Reyes Reflection at both sites to get a discount. And Arave cards, completing sets one card at a time. Now, introduction time for my next guest. She is a singer. She is a songwriter. She's an explorer of abandoned buildings, which I can't wait to get into. She was on season 22 of The Voice, a photographer as well. She is a candle maker. She grew up in the desert, and I've been trying to get her on the show for a while now, but we finally made it work. So without further ado, she is Kayla Von Der Heide. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm sorry it took a little bit of time. I think that's just the airhead in me, honestly, to be real. Trying to figure it out.
It's the free spirit in you.
Going with the wind.
That's right. That's right. That's my type of personality too. So I'm so glad that you're doing this. So, like I said in the intro, I want to talk about this. So, during my knee surgery, while I was recovering, I went down this rabbit hole on YouTube where I was watching these pages of people that would explore abandoned malls, that type of stuff. And it's kind of cool because it's a post-apocalyptic feel, eerie feeling. I want to hear from you. How did you get into this? What is this hobby of yours? How did you start exploring this world?
I'm excited to talk about this, honestly. I think if you're like a desert kid and you grow up in the desert, there's not a lot to do. And there's abandoned buildings everywhere. And I just remember, like, surprisingly, as like soft-spoken as I am, I always was like getting into trouble in high school and stuff. And like, I remember sneaking out and we'd go to like abandoned hospitals and all these like structures in the desert that probably were like I don't know, probably super dangerous, honestly, but I've been doing it since I was a kid, so it's like in my soul.
I was going to say the average person might be a little freaked out by that.
Yeah, I go in there kind of like, I probably should be more careful. Like, I finally got pepper spray because everyone's like, you need something. And but I go in there and I have like an announcement I make and stuff. I'm like, if anyone's here, like, I come in peace. Like, I'm just a photographer. So, yeah, it's a little scary.
Do you have like a GoPro with you as you're exploring? Like, how do you document this?
I need to do it more and better. I have right now I have my camera. So I like to I had that already from doing wedding photography. So it kind of like fits perfectly with everything else I do. So that's like a whole other thing I really started getting really into since 2020. Just like when there's not much to do, I'm like, I'll just go to explore all these abandoned historic places right now. And I'm really into it right now.
It's kind of an eerie feeling, as I mentioned. Do you go with a group of people? Is it just you by yourself?
Just me. So most of the time, honestly. Like, I like tell him this all the time. I'm like, so glad that I found a friend to go with. And he's an EMT, so it works really well. So like if anything happens, he'll help me out. But the way that I actually like found him as a friend is I got hurt at an abandoned place. Like, I fell and I bashed my leg open, and he wrote me. He's like, I'll come with you if you ever need anyone. And so I took that as a sign that I probably shouldn't go alone as much as I do.
So what happened? Were you in the dark, walking, tripped over something? How did that injury occur?
It was this house that just burned down. It's like a beautiful structure out here in the middle of the desert. It looks like it reminded me of Beauty and the Beast, like the whole, I don't know, just the ballroom scene. There was giant chandeliers and it burned down. And so of course I wanted to go see what it looked like. And it looks really cool. It's sad, but it's like it has this cool, spooky feeling to it, but that's beautiful. And of course I filmed a video there, and I was like walking around, and I went up the stairs too quick, and it gashed my whole leg open. It was bad. Like I saw it, like I think I saw my bone. I'm not sure, but I was like limping back to my car, and I was like shaking. And I've had a lot of times where I've like gotten stuck places in my car, or like, just driving into the desert and, get stuck and have no service. And I have a lot of stories, but we could start with that one, with the leg.
Has there ever been one where the air is very thick and you almost feel spooked, or that there's something there that you're just you can't pinpoint, but there's something in the air there?
Yeah, that one specifically, like I was kind of like, did I get pushed or something? Like, and I have some videos there, and I think it's just because of just of what happened, like it's kind of a tragedy to have someone's house burned down, and it is, but so it's like that energy's still there a little bit. It just felt like a little, maybe like I shouldn't be there yet, It's still kind of like settling into its new way of being. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. And you know what's interesting to me? Like I said, as I was watching those YouTube videos, because I was recovering from a knee surgery, I was just bored of binge watching shows. So I was like, let me find some new content to pass some time. So you go down YouTube, you can go down a rabbit hole. You can start with like a music video, and somehow you're winding up watching somebody do backflips off of buildings. I don't know how that happens, but
Yeah.
somehow I got into this guy who was going into malls, old malls, restaurants, stores, houses, and just that environment, just even seeing it through the camera. I can't imagine being there, but seeing it through the camera, I was like, wow, it is spooky. I mean, there was some looting going around, like in some places, like you said, there was buildings that were burnt. And so my take on that is every single one of these buildings have a story. Every single one of these buildings have had someone who occupied that residency or has walked through those malls and those halls many times, even schools. I've seen ones where people go into abandoned schools, and it is some really spooky stuff. I'm into that stuff. I wish that I can go ahead and do that type of stuff.
Try it.
But I know, you know what it is? I'll admit it, Nathanael's a little bit of a chicken. He might need a group of friends that are willing to go ahead and come join him.
If you're ever in the West, like, you're in the right place. I'll show you around.
If I find myself in Arizona, I will go ahead and hey, you know what? My future is up in the air right now. I might be moving out west in the next 6 months or so. I might be either Southern California or Nevada, so I might be out there. So
no, that's like there's a lot of, like, I'm from SoCal originally, but kind of the deserty part. So, and then I moved to Bisbee like 2 years ago. So yeah, Arizona is really cool.
Oh, so you're originally from Southern California?
Yeah, but like just an hour outside of Joshua Tree, this little town called Victorville, Apple Valley. But you wouldn't know. It's like everyone says on the way to Vegas. It's like all desert.
Those nights get pretty cold, right? Is that true?
Yeah, I actually just snowed here in Arizona like a week ago, and now it's all sunny today. So it was really scary. I'm like, I had to drive to Tucson in the snow, and I thought I was gonna like go off of a mountain. It snowed a lot.
Really?
Like I didn't expect it. Yeah.
See, I'm from Massachusetts. Like, to me, I'm walking my dog in my shorts, and people are like, "You're insane!" Like, but I mean, I think we're so thick-blooded. So maybe when I move out west and get used to that warmth, that's gonna be like a change of pace for me.
It gets really hot, so that kind of makes people moody. I feel like the heat makes you moody. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that, because it was like there was some times where it was like 113 last year. Crazy heat. Yeah.
So do you just stay inside at that point most of the time? Because at some point it's pretty dangerous, right, to be out there?
Yeah, I get kind of stir crazy, so I try to like go out in the morning, if like when it's a little bit cooler, at nighttime.
Yep.
Sunset time, but I still try to go. I love going outside, so it really helps me. So I have to every day.
So you push yourself to do it, to go outside. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah, I'm alone out here, so and it's pretty isolated. So a lot of people that live in Bisbee, they have something. We kind of like. I feel like we interconnect about the feeling, how it is to be out here. Like we get a little stir crazy. They say it can consume you and like be really negative if you let it, or you have to kind of just figure out your own way to like make your bubble and your world out here. So it's kind of what I try to do. I'm like, I can just fight this feeling and go outside, and it feels a lot better, you know?
You find your niche. Yeah, you find your group of people. Yeah, your tribe.
Yeah.
I've seen some videos on TikTok where some of those summers get so hot in Arizona that trash cans are melting. Is that true? Is any of is that true?
Yeah, there's been times where I've like bumped up against things and it's like it burns you, and you can cook an egg on the ground
I've
sometimes
seen that.
out here.
I've seen that.
Yeah. It's true. It really is. It's amazing. I feel bad for the animals all the time. I'm like, want to like go leave out water everywhere because I can't imagine just being I don't know how they survive.
I've seen that. I've seen videos where people will put like a pan and they'll crack an egg and they'll leave
Yeah.
it inside their car, and then it's a fried egg like an hour later.
There you go. You don't even see, if you come out here, you don't even need to buy kitchen supplies.
Right. Yeah.
Just go outside and put it on your roof or something.
Who needs appliances? Right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, no.
I'm not sure, but I think even what's that famous show? Is it Breaking Bad? Maybe. I don't know if you know that show. Is that I believe it's set in Arizona.
Yeah, I think it was New Mexico, actually.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
right,
funny
right.
that you bring that up, because I was just seeing something about how there's the Breaking Bad house. It's an actual lady's house. And apparently, like, she comes out and then she's like, crazy with the people, like flipping him off and telling him to go. But people go and like visit it all the time, this house that's like in a normal neighborhood, just like mine and yours, and they just use the outside of it for Breaking Bad. And yeah, so she gets I was watching that this morning, so it's funny you mentioned that.
This was the perfect time for the podcast. I was going to bring up Breaking Bad. You were going to see a video of it. Yep.
Breaking Bad is real. Like, you can run into situations probably like that in the desert if you're not careful. If you're not careful.
All right. So note to self: hang out with Kayla, explore abandoned buildings when I go out west, and that's about it. All right. Don't wander off.
Well, yeah, it'll be the most fun tour ever. I should start like my own tour, like just show the ins and outs of these places.
You should. You totally should. It could be a little guy. It could be a little side hustle. Be a tour guide. Yep.
I'll add it on to the list. No, I'm kidding.
A candle maker, all that stuff. You're the wide spectrum of who you are. Yeah, exactly.
And that's what life's about,
Exactly.
Just trying everything you want.
Wear different hats, wear different outfits, and that's what. Yeah, completely.
Get weird. Like, just try things, and I think if things don't work out, then it's just redirecting you towards the things you're supposed to do. So it's not really a bad thing.
Right. Exactly. It's serendipitous.
Mm-hmm.
I want to circle back to you searching abandoned buildings and stuff. What's the coolest place that you would say you searched?
Oh man, there's so many, but like what's coming to mind right now is this abandoned church that's right, like it's not very far from here. It's like 15 minutes. It's this huge dome like church that you see kind of common. I don't know if you have that out in Massachusetts, but there's a crazy story behind it where there's people argue with me all the time. I might be telling it wrong. I don't know it perfectly. I wasn't there, but there was a cult shooting, I guess, there that happened against like the sheriffs in town out here. So when you walk in there, you kind of, it's just weird, really weird energy, but it's this huge structure. There's like old pianos in there. Like I found an old Hank Williams album out there and took that with me. I don't know if I'm cursed, but there's just little things in there that are still like items from, the people there, and whatever cult this was. I don't know, but it's just kind of a weird history that's just right down the street.
That's so cool to me, but yet so scary. Like, I love hearing those things because, as I stated earlier, there's just so much history in every building. There's, and maybe that's where my brain goes, because my brain is always like, what is it like? What happened here? What is some of the history? And so, to me, I'm very big on that type of stuff. Unfortunately, we don't have those type of buildings or those type of churches out here in Mass. It's more cathedral, because I think Massachusetts holds its values on old architecture structures, and so there's not as many new buildings
Awesome
like
though.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here in Bisbee though, so there's tons of old stuff out here. Have you ever seen Bisbee? I think it's the coolest little mountain desert town.
No, I've never heard of Bisbee. I've only obvious from Arizona. I've heard of I think you said Tucson.
Yeah, Tucson. I recommend coming to Bisbee though. If you like stuff like that, there's so much history here.
Yeah.
A lot of like old west. Like I live about 30 minutes from Tombstone. Sorry to cut you off, by the way.
No, you're fine.
But like really close to Tombstone, so it's like all like old west gunfighter shows and things like that. It's really fun.
Yeah. You touched up on it that you originally lived in Southern California and then you moved to Bisbee. Why did you make that transition?
It was the community here. I guess like maybe some people will get it, but in SoCal, like where I was, it's more geared towards like dirt bike riding and just things like that, which are cool. And I would love to someday have like some cool off-road vehicle. That'd be awesome. But it's not really like super artistic. I didn't really have that like sense. I didn't really get to play music. I was just doing my photography like all the time, which I loved, but it was like wedding after wedding after wedding, and then just go home. And I didn't have that, like I didn't really do music very much. And then I came out here and I think I did like an open mic, or I did a show with a friend that I met. There's so many like spiraling things, but I did a show with a friend out here, and just the reception and like the way that people actually listen, they sit and they appreciate it. And it's not like where I would play at home, like in SoCal, it would be more like sports bars, people talking, which is cool, like watching sports. But it just, I appreciated the attentiveness here and the appreciation. There's so many musicians, so many talented people out here. It's like, I feel like one day someone's gonna discover it and be like, this is crazy here, like all the talent. So it really like sucked me in. And then all the history, and it really helped me to like become more of myself, I think, out here.
So you needed a change. You needed a change of pace, and at some point, hey, someone might discover that Bisbee is a music town. So you never know.
It is. It really is. There's some of the most talented people that I've met musically out here, I think. And they're just like playing at a little St. Elmo's down the street, or like a little bar. There's this like full on like awesome country band that plays there all the time, and pedal steel, and we got the regulars that come. It's just really cool. Like it's exciting. You can go out on a Tuesday and there's like all that going on.
What's the population? Is it a big town?
I think it's like 5,000. I could be wrong, but it's pretty small, and it's kind of stretched out. So there's like old Bisbee where you'll find all the old saloons and stuff, and like more of the music going on. And then outside of it, there's little neighborhoods that are actually like my house was like probably like a little miner's house at some point. My house was built in like the 50s, or I'm not sure like the exact date, but the guy that came in that worked on it recently told me that this neighborhood was built just for like the miners when they would come through and like live here for a little bit and then leave. So they're kind of like rinky dinky houses. Well, mine has like quirks, I should say. Not like rinky dinky, but there's little quirks to these houses.
And now you've made it into your own. Yeah.
Yeah, like my world, my whole little like Cinderella world out here.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You talked about your music. 2020, you won a songwriting contest, I think I read.
Yeah.
Talk about that contest and about the song that you wrote.
Yeah, that was with Gems on VHS. It's it'll go YouTube, kind of like they feature different artists, and he'll like field recording kind of thing. And it was actually their first contest they ever did for the songwriting contest. And you basically win a trip to go to Nashville and like record a video with them, and they like promote you on there and stuff and connect you with some other people as well. And I never thought I would ever win that. I was in a weird place in my life at that time where, like I said, I was just in SoCal, like just, going to work and going home, wasn't really doing music. I'm very shy also. So like putting myself out there like that was a lot for me. And I made it on, I put in a song. I remember I was like overthinking it so much, the audition video. And I was like, it has to be unique. It has to be somewhere like abandoned. It has to show where like me, my personality. And I went all over that mountain, like all over the mountains, and it was like snowing. I did a take up there. I did a take like in like a tunnel, but in all these places. And like the take that I ended up liking was in the tunnel, and it was like this, just alone by myself with my camera. And I did this song called "The Word Around," which is just kind of like, it's about always like there's going to be people that come at you and tell you like what to do, how to do things in life, but the word around is about just like keeping focus and sticking to what you love. And I just put that in, and I got to the top 10. I guess they liked me, which was really cool. And then people voted from there on Patreon, so they voted and I won. Like that was the most validating thing for me at the time, because I was like, can I even do music? Like, am I good? So that was really like amazing what I took from it.
That's awesome. So that was kind of the catapult into you pursuing music.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, like people actually, like if they voted for me, like maybe some more people would like to hear it, just kind of like, just I wasn't sure yet. Yeah.
And like you said, it's a validating, reassuring thing when you're unsure if it's something that you're good at, or and you just like to do, and now you're like, whoa, because of this, maybe it is something I could actively pursue.
Yeah, it was like a little like like the universe kind of nudging me to do it more, and it was something that I've always wanted to do more. I was always that little kid that like wanted to sing, but I never thought it would be like a practical thing, and it actually, you really can make it practical.
Yes. Did you start to sing and stuff younger, before this moment? Like how did you discover that you like to sing or enjoyed doing it even before this contest?
Yeah, I was always like so shy. Like I literally, my mom took me to the doctor because I was just so quiet and like introverted, and like they told me that I had to have, it was weird that I never said anything about wanting to sing, but the doctor specifically was like, if she ever wants to be a singer, she's gonna have to get these out. And my eyes were like, how did he know? Like, and I told him, I remember like I do want to be a singer. And at the time I was really little, and I remember just from watching like cartoons and stuff, like when they put like the tonsils in the jars and like things like that. I'm like,
yes.
Yeah, I was like, do you do that? And he's all, I can if you want me to. And I woke up and I just didn't even care. I was like in pain, but I knew that I wanted to sing since I was little, and just I think the connection I felt to like melodies, and just I would always like be dilly-dallying on a piano, and I just like creating. So it's a way for me to communicate too, because like I said, I'm very shy. So I would like put my feelings all into that, and then be able to like sing it to someone and be like, this is how I'm feeling.
Well, Kayla, the way that you're rocking this interview, I doubt that you've overcome some of your shyness, I think.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
That's probably because of the voice. Like I was just feeling like this was reminding me of that a little bit, because I did so many interviews and things on on Zoom and stuff, and I'm not very good at that stuff, so it's bringing me back.
Well, hey, you have me fooled. All right, you're rocking this.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's a testament to you.
Oh, is it? Thank you.
You're making it comfortable.
Thank you. No, I like to pride myself on that, of it being just an authentic, candid conversation of just not it's funny, I say interview, but a lot of times I more just like to talk. I more like to have these interactions, and no, that's awesome. Did you grow up in a music family? Like, how was this an inspiration for you? You said you always wanted to be a singer. Was this just something that you were always surrounded by, or is this just something you came to on your own?
Not really. I like my mom, like, they have really good music taste, I would say, but I actually just found it on my own, and I found out. I asked my grandma, I'm like, is there anyone in her family that's musical? And apparently my great grandma sang in the church, but that's like all I've gotten from my family. And yeah, so I guess I don't know how I found it. I think it was like, to be honest with you, I loved Britney Spears when I was little, like a little girl. But yeah, I just like watched her, and I would just like be like, oh my gosh, she just connecting to the songs, and I just loved like how soft she was, but like when like in those times, and even now, like my heart goes out to her because I couldn't imagine that just that world she exists in. But
I don't know who didn't love her though.
yeah, she's great. Even now, and even in her mania or whatever's going on, I feel like it's oddly gonna be relatable to some
Yeah.
people, maybe.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time."
Yeah, that's a great video. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
it was great. It was great. Good times.
Hmm.
You touched up on The Voice. We'll get into that now.
Yeah.
How did that become a reality for you? Because as you mentioned, you were always kind of introverted.
Hmm.
Now you know that if you pursue this, and you get accepted, which you eventually did, and you get casted, and you eventually did, that now you're gonna be projected into this, national scale of exposure. How did that become something that you were gonna actively pursue?
Oh man. Well, I think I just saw one day, like I got like, how I don't know if you probably don't, but they'll send you like emails of like when they're having auditions, and I really think I wouldn't have auditioned if it weren't for the fact that they were like webcam audit, like because I probably wouldn't have gone to like that actual situation in person. Um, and I almost didn't do it. I had like a time, like that's how nervous and just unsure of like myself I was, and it's sad because that was a while ago. I've gotten better, but like I just went on there last minute before it was like about to exit out, and I sang like a with my webcam on my computer, really low quality. Blaze Foley is like this old country singer, this old song, and it was my first time ever like trying out for anything like that, and I got a call from them. It was really like so amazing how that happened.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you had a pretty successful run on The Voice. You got to work with Gwen Stefani. I believe you made it to the three-way knockouts. What were some takeaways that you had from that experience that is helping you continue your music career or even alter some of the things you do differently in your music career now?
Yeah, I think like it made me really appreciate my individuality a lot being there. Um, like I know it's like such an amazing, like I'm so grateful for that opportunity, but it also made me miss like having the creative control of like my songs, and like that was a part that was like a little hard for me. But I think the amazing thing I took from it was like Gwen Stefani was like my, like I'd say probably like sixth grade through like high school was like I loved her because of that, because of how unique she is, how she has a different kind of voice. She writes her own songs. Like I had all of her albums. I really annoyed my family with them. And not that they didn't like her, they just were like, "Do you have to keep listening to that?" And I think that was the most amazing thing from it was again the validation that I got just from getting to like get face to face with someone I really looked up to and hear her tell me that she liked my voice and that she heard that I was a storyteller, or like just things like that. They stick with me in like really low like moments where I doubt myself. And just yeah, the exposure, more people getting to check you out. But I do wish that like I would have talked about my music more on there, but I guess that's like out of my control because they edit everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it was so cool.
Yeah, it's a Purdue show. Yep.
Yeah.
And your family's like, "Hey, listen, I don't know how many times I can listen to Holla Back Girl."
Yeah. Oh, that song was playing like right before I went out there. I'm like, this is like gonna be in my memory forever. Like I knew she was right there beyond the door, and I didn't wear my contacts on purpose because I was like, I can't see these people. Like, I can't look at these people and sing, at the same time. Like, she's like my hero from when I was little. So I didn't wear my eye, like I couldn't see. Everything was kind of blurry.
Oh, no way.
And I went out there, and it helped me, I think. But now I wish I wore my contacts because I wish I could have just seen their faces in that moment better.
So you deliberately didn't wear your contacts.
Yeah, I was very nervous. Yeah, like it was all out of my comfort zone, but I kept pushing myself because I'm like, I don't know. It just was like this nudge, I guess. It was really cool.
I think that has to be one of the most effective strategies I think I've ever heard, where somebody deliberately doesn't wear contacts so that way they don't see what's going on. Wow, that is impressive. I almost wish I had bad eyes just so I could pull that off. I really do.
I do it a lot, actually, still on nights where I get kind of nervous. I'm like, okay, I'll just, because I don't know, it just helps. Everyone looks like little blurry shapes. But it's good I'm getting better at it. I think that too is another thing with the voice that was such a blessing, was like it helped my confidence a lot, going forward. So yeah.
That's awesome. So it was part of the validation you needed on top of the contest winning to continue a music career. Yeah.
So I feel really lucky when I talk about all those things that I got, it was like just something was pushing me to, it's like, hey, you're good enough. Do it.
And I'm glad that you have continued to do it, because I believe I saw that you film and edit your own music videos.
Yeah. I love just having, like I said, the creative control of like, probably to a fault though sometimes, because it would be neat to work with other people that have different visions. Yep. And I want to do more of that this year and like be more open to that. But I just love my like ghost town like stuff that I do, abandoned buildings. So
I want to bring up the photography. You actually have a photography business, I think I saw. I saw some photos and they look amazing. What made you want to get into that? Because I too got into photography for a little bit. I actually was the photographer for my high school newspaper. Fun fact.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Hey, those people are gonna look at that forever. They're gonna always like look back at that and be like, I remember that guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
What made you want to get into photography?
It's just it was so fun. I'm gonna age myself, but like back in MySpace days, I was like shooting photos of my friends and for their profile pictures. And of course we had like the emo hair and like, just that whole look. And I just realized I started to like it. I think one of my first clients, I charged her like $30. And then after that, people like, you should start doing this more, like you're good at it. And I did it. I did weddings for 10 years, kind of taking a little break right now and just doing like kind of smaller shoots. Because weddings are wild, but they're cool.
I was also a MySpace guy, and I want to say this. I saw something that said Facebook and Instagram needs this feature where when you click on your profile, a song will play when you're on the person's profile. And I said, that was MySpace, right? In MySpace, you could go to a person's page and they would have a song that would play. And MySpace taught you about coding and everything like that. I remember MySpace. Yeah, that was a good time.
Full creative control. Yes. Yeah, the codes. I remember that. You have to like go. I loved that. I was like so into that. My page probably still looks awesome right now.
And one of my favorite things about MySpace was I was never insecure on it because Tom was always my friend.
Yeah. He always had a friend, and he always had that picture where he's like looking back. I'm like, where is he?
Yes, I know. I wonder where Tom is nowadays. I do wonder that. I don't know.
Such a mystery.
Yeah.
Maybe one day some like wild conspiracy theory will come out about Tom.
Some Netflix documentary needs to come out about Tom from MySpace.
That would be awesome. I would watch that.
I would too. I think we're onto something here. I think we might have produced a little idea.
Yeah, maybe we should cut this part out because I think it's going to be a great viral idea. No,
yeah, I think you and I are onto something here. You and I. We'll chop it up so that way it doesn't. No.
No, it's okay. I'd love to. If somebody can like fund that and find out where Tom is, that would be great.
Yeah, I think so. I think Nathanael and Kayla just came up with a business venture. I think we did.
A few of them actually we have doing this.
Yeah. Last thing I want to bring up before we do some burning questions and we wrap up. I saw that you visited the Clown Motel, which is apparently the world's scariest motel, or in the United States, I don't know, in the world. I want to hear about that experience. Talk to me about the Clown Motel experience.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's probably the scariest place if you're scared of clowns because, yeah, but I was a little nervous about it too. Sorry about my dog. It's okay, come here, buddy.
Even Bodie's afraid of them.
Yeah, he's like, there's probably a ghost coming in while I talk about it. Come here, buddy. But I stayed at the Mizpah, which is down the street. Just that whole area, like, come here, Bodie. Tonopah, Nevada is like this tiny little stretch of like, it used to be a mining town too. And I stayed in the Mizpah, which to me, I don't know if you ever watched Twin Peaks. It has like this like red room feel, velvety, like old hotel. I went by myself, and then at night I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go out and check out the Clown Motel, just stroll over there. And so I strolled over there at night. Like I have ghost apps like that talk, like ghost hunting apps. And I just went out there and checked it out, went into the gift shop, and it's just full of like clown memorabilia. I didn't want to stay there because it just seemed a little, I don't know, just my personal opinion, it seemed a little spooky in other ways too. You know what I mean? More than just ghost. And yeah, there's a cemetery right behind it. And it's actually a lot of people that have, I think, like went through like the Spanish plague or like something. I could be wrong, but I know that there's some kind of plague that happened. And there's a lot of people that are buried there that were from that. It's crazy.
I'm not necessarily afraid of clowns, but there's something about just life-size inanimate objects that kind of freak me out. It doesn't even have to be a clown. It could be
like Five Nights at Freddy's. That creepy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like if there's just something inanimate that's standing there, I get a little spooked too. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, yeah.
You don't know like what's underneath. Like you can't read them. They're just like stoic and scary. You have to be able to. I don't know. I feel you.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. You ready for some burning questions while we wrap up?
Yeah.
Awesome. What is your dream vacation spot?
Oh my gosh, I'm the most indecisive person, so I might not be good at your burning questions. Greece comes to mind. I would love to see Greece.
I love it. Greece. Okay.
Looks beautiful. All of that, like architecture, everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
I don't know. I think people that make a lot of assumptions. I guess I think everybody does it, but I get that a lot. I feel maybe, but I guess when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, right? Is that the truth?
Yes, that is.
Yeah. Just get to know me. I'm like very nice. So
a high school teacher said that to me. My junior or senior year, I said to him, I think if I remember correctly, I believe I didn't do the homework assignment because we had a snow day. And so I said, well, I assumed because we weren't in school yesterday and it was given the day prior that it wasn't due today. And he said, you know what happens when you assume? You make an ass out of you and me. That's what he said to me. Yep.
And it stuck with you.
Yes, it still stuck with me. Shout out to Mr. G. All right, that was the name.
He is a G.
Yeah, shout out Mr. Ganjemi. Yeah, he was a G. He was a G. What is your favorite food?
Probably pizza. I'm just going to be real basic.
Me too.
Got to spread that out a little bit, though. Can't have that. I wish I could have it every night.
Oh, if I could, I would. I could. I would. I love it.
It's the best.
So then, do you believe that pineapple belongs on pizza?
I can vibe with it, a
Yeah.
little bit. But
Okay.
I just go for like a classic cheese pizza sometimes,
Oh, yeah.
dip it in ranch.
Yep.
Just real American over here.
Yeah.
Real juvenile.
Nothing really beats the classic. I think a classic cheese pizza.
It's the
I'm
best.
good with. Yeah, exactly.
If you're
Yep.
ever sad, just go get a pizza
Yep.
and just eat it.
You don't realize how much joy you get from eating a pizza. I think pizza
Yeah.
is joyful. Yep.
Even like the shape of it, the first bite, all of it is just very joyful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a planner or are you more spontaneous?
Hmm. I feel like you could even answer that now, because of how many times I've had to try to figure this interview out. I'm more spontaneous, much more. Yeah, and if it's like a paid job, I'll be there. But
Hmm.
there's times where I'm like, yeah, I go with my heart on the day of
Yep.
usually.
So if you
Yeah.
get a text that morning saying, "Hey, I found an abandoned building, let's roll," you're like, "All right, let's do it."
That's better.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot better because I think, like, having to think about it all first and, like, anticipate things
Yep.
makes me, like, not wanna do it sometimes, but if you just drop it on me, I'll probably be there.
It can almost make you anxious when you have to wait and prepare for
Yeah,
something or anticipate something. Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
uh-huh.
Because you're sitting around, like even when I think about certain things of like, oh, at 5 o'clock, then all day you're thinking about up until 5 o'clock when you have to do that thing, and it's just it's in your head and it's just it's constant. So I understand that. Yep. I'm a spot. I like spontaneity as well. Yep. Agreed.
Yeah, it's more fun, less pressure.
I agree. I agree.
Mhm.
Is there a quote or a saying that is your favorite or that has stuck out to you more than others? Is there something that a mantra that you really believe in and follow in life?
Hmm. I don't know if a quote doesn't really come to mind that I wish that, but I just think, like, just sticking to your intuition. Like, I don't know, just try the weird things that you wanna try. I didn't do it for so long in my life, and I was kind of like in a shell of myself, and I think, like, that's what life's about, like, just trying different things and that make you happy, like, follow, like, what makes you happy, like, what feels good, and that's my mantra, I think.
I love it.
Very spontaneous
I love
too.
that.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to ask you to say a number 1 through 6. And from that, you're going to answer a random question since we're talking about spontaneity based on which number you give.
Okay. 3.
3. Okay. Is there a themed cruise that you would like to embark on? A themed cruise.
Maybe I would like to go to the Queen Mary. Like, that's, like, this old spooky ship
Oh,
that you could still stay on, but I don't think it actually runs. The Titanic, can I say that? I'm
yeah.
just
Yeah.
kidding.
That's no longer here. Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, a spooky cruise would be cool.
Oh, okay. So a haunted cruise. So you like haunted things.
I do, yeah. One day I wanna start, like, I don't know if I should say my idea, but I wanna do some kinda, like, music touring. But, like, then while I'm touring for music, like, make videos at a spooky places and ghost hunt and make a
Yeah.
whole YouTube, maybe someday.
Oh, I'm all for that stuff too. I've said it if and when I do move out west. One of the things I genuinely want to do with my life is I don't know if you've heard of this folklore, the Curse of La Llorona. It's the weeping woman, and I've always wanted to go ahead and just go down Central America and just really talk to these people about
Yeah,
why they genuinely believe it and feel that. And maybe it's a little spooky that I want to do that, but I genuinely would love to experience that at least one point. Put my GoPro on right here, walk around with
yeah.
my phone, and just experience that whole atmosphere. I love that stuff.
I think there's such an audience for that. I live, like, really close to Mexico. I'm, like, I could get there in, like, 30 minutes if I wanted to.
Oh, no way.
So, a lot of that culture is around here,
Yes.
and, they talk about that. I've had one time I went on a date with a guy that took me ghost hunting when I first got out here, and he was like, "This is where they say La Llorona is." and it was just weird, but I guess she's like connected to water though,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Like, yeah, so that's why she was like in the stream over here. But there's like a lot of that culture out here, like the Day of the Dead, and
Yeah.
it's kind of, I love it, like Santa Muerte. It's just like, I love learning about different cultures like that. So I think people would like that. You should do that.
I should. I definitely
Yeah.
I definitely want to experience that. I do. I do.
Yeah, I would watch it.
What a first date, right? Hey, first date. Let me take you to where most of yeah.
I think he was just trying to appeal to me, which I actually appreciated. Like,
Yeah.
I would rather go ghost hunting on a first date than like stare at someone while I eat food,
Right.
Like, it just feels better. You get to like look at things, and yeah.
You heard it here on the Reyes Reflection podcast, people. Kayla loves ghost hunting as a date. All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Boom. Plug in your socials. Where can people find you, listen to you, follow you, any projects you have coming up, things like that? Tell the folks where they can experience Kayla.
Yeah, I'm on my Instagram. It's just my name, Kayla Von Der Heide. I'm on Spotify. I have a new album. I think I'm gonna be putting out maybe tomorrow. I just got the songs. There's a little bird at my window. I just got the songs yesterday, so I'm like debating if I should just spontaneously put it out tomorrow. But it's gonna be this week, and it's really cool. I also designed the artwork on the cover and everything, so I like did it all myself. So I would appreciate if you took a chance and looked at it or listened. And yeah.
Well, I can't wait. I will definitely keep my eyes open for that. Well, Kayla, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, joining me
Yeah,
on the
thank
pod. You're now sworn in forever as a friend of the show. There you
Yeah.
go. That is my official, I do a
I need
robot
more
dance.
friends. Thank you.
It's a really prestigious honor, so. Yeah.
It is an honor. It really is. I really appreciate you like taking the time and working with me, and like with my schedule and weirdness. So thank you.
Of course. This is what I do. I love it. So that is going to do it for this episode of the Reyes Reflection podcast. Follow the show, share the show, follow me on those socials at I'm Nathanael Reyes. Check out our wonderful sponsors, Arave Cards, Jocko Fuel, and Mad Rabbit. And as always, may you live, may you love, and may you thrive. I'm Oprah as a dude, and I love you all.